agree. Well, you had a series on your YouTube channel where you went into a few different stories from your past, which I don't think we covered in our previous interviews. One of which is that you started a riot on 9/11 in Rikers.
Right.
What's that about?
On 9/11, on 9/11, it was I was on Rikers Island. We was in the Beacon. And the Beacon is so Rikers Island is com, comprised of maybe like one, two, like six different jails, right? So it's like it's an island. It's really an island, and there's like six different facilities on the island. So I was in the Beacon at the time, and I was in 13. I was in 13A, which is like if you walk in, it's like it looks like a big airport wing, right? It's like big. It has big ceiling to floor window, like a big gigantic like airport looking window. And in our view was of the skyline of New York City, and you could see the Twin Towers right there. So that morning, um, I it was like early in the morning. I got up and I walked to the phone. I was on the phone and I was talking on the phone, and I was just I was watching. I was talking on the phone with my people, and then I see like my the news was playing right here, right? So I'm seeing like I'm talking on the phone, whatever, and then all of a sudden like you see like the news is talking about the airplane flew into the Twin Towers, and the person that I was talking to on the phone was like, "Yo, what the hell? Like, what the hell?" So I'm thinking like it was like I thought it was just a accident. You know what I'm saying? And it wasn't an accident. Then I got off the phone, and then I walked I walked out, whatever, walked around, and we was just like talking about, damn, um, the accident. Everybody was by the big window looking at the first tower that was in smoke. And then while we were at the window, the second tower hits. Boom. The second airplane hits the tower. Boom. And then everybody's like, oh, snap. And now it's like, damn, this is not an accident. Like everybody's talking about, yo, it's an attack, it's an attack. Then they locked us down. They locked the whole jail. They locked all of us down. They made all of us lock in. So I'm like, so we all inside, and there was like some beef like up into that, because when you're inside there's only two phones, so there's like 50 people, 60 people, all for two phones. And when something is going on of that stature, everybody wants to get on the phone, everybody wants to talk to their family, everybody's like, and then you got people like, just trying to like take the phone, people's trying to like, everybody has to speak to their family, make sure everybody's good. But then you got one person or one, crew trying to take over the phone and just like dominate the phone or whatever. You know what I'm saying? So when we locked in, we all locked in, and I'm in my cell like, damn, you know what I'm saying? Like I'm thinking like everybody's talking about the martial law, and I'm thinking like, damn, people they might come in here and start shooting everybody, like killing all of us. I didn't know, you know what I mean? Like I didn't know, my head was all over the place, and I was just stressed out thinking about what was going on. My family lives in Chinatown. My mom is over there, and like the Twin Towers is right over there, like downtown Manhattan. So I want to get on the phone. I want to call. And when I tried to call my mom the first time, she ain't pick up the phone. So now I went back in my cell. I'm locked in my cell. They lock us in for like a couple hours. Then they let us out. But so where my cell was at, it was towards the phone. So I ran to the phone. I got to the phone, and I tried to like, make a phone call. I couldn't get through. And long story short, we got into a fight with this other dude, and he was a Crip, and he was like, he had it was like the whole Beacon was a blood house. It was like a blood jail. There was no other Crips, but they was bringing them at that time. They brought in a couple of them, and in my house, in 13A, there was maybe like 4 or 5 of them, and they started getting stronger. They started trying to make their nuts let they nuts hang for the phone or whatever. So they tried to take that phone. And long story short, we had a big fight. You know what I'm saying? Whoever, I had started the fight, and we had a big fight over the phone, and it was on 9/11. You know what I mean? That's basically what happened.
Yeah, I mean, 9/11 in the prison system must have been pretty crazy.
It was super crazy because you don't know. First of all, you locked up, so you can't get on the phone when you want. You can't call your family when you know what I mean? If they not picking up the phone, you start worrying. Then if they not picking the phone, there's a long line of people that want to get on the phone, so it's really stressful. You don't know what's going on. People saying like, the martial law, they're gonna come in here and start shooting people. So you stressed out. You want to get home to your people, and I didn't know what was going on. And we got into this big ass rumble. It was like a I don't know. It was like 7 versus 7 or 10 versus 10, something like that. We all got into a big fight, and when they broke up the fight, the officers came in, broke up the fight. They took me out and they handcuffed me. They walked me down the corridor, and I remember the corridor is a long ass walkway, and I remember there was officers on both sides lined all the way down, like all the way. All you saw was a sea of officers lined on this side, lined on this side, and I'm walking down the corridor after just starting a riot, and I'm just like, oh man, like they are about to fucking kill me, like you know what I'm saying? And I was just like, that was crazy. You know what I mean? That was definitely crazy. But yeah.
Well, there was another video you had where you talked about you had a war with Crips on
Right.
Rikers.
Yeah.
What was that about?
Um. So this was on C95. This was another jail in Rikers Island, and what happened that time was like So again, this now it's different now because there's more Crips in New York, right? And more Crips in New York State. Back then, there was Rikers Island in prison and upstate prison. It was mostly blood. Everybody was blood. You know what I mean? And Crips used to just get ran out. Crips really couldn't live in a lot of jails that we was in. You know what I'm saying? So I was in C95. I was in this house, and what happened was it was a blood house. But one of the leaders, one of the head people that was in the house, he was blood. But one Crip dude came in and he basically sanctioned him. He said, nah, nothing's going to happen to him. He's good. You know what I'm saying? So what happened was he was there, and then more Crips he started pulling more Crips, and it became a house that was Bloods and Crips, which was really unheard of at the time. You know what I'm saying? And because the dude that was there, his name was Fats, the Blood, that he was cool and he had strength, so he allowed that to happen. And in this house, there was Bloods and there was Crips. You know what I mean? And then what happened was, there was a big fight in the house, and they took Fats out. They took a lot of the Bloods out of the house, right? And then now there was just my boy. There was one Blood there. His name was BG. And shout out to BG. If anybody watching this, BG, what's good? Tap in, bro. But BG was the Blood. He was the only Blood left in the house, right? And then, so BG went to court that morning. He packed that. They told him to go to court. So they wake you up at like 5 in the morning. He goes to court. And I'm in the house. So he goes to court. He leaves. And then now we go to the yard at like maybe 9 a.m. We go to the yard. And then all the Crips go to the yard too. So long story short, because of the blood that was there, all of them left. Now the sanction that the Crips had is basically lifted. You know what I'm saying? Now all of the Bloods that had something to say, that had an issue with it, but never said anything because the Blood that was there, he didn't let it go down. Now he was gone. So now a fight happens in the yard. While I'm in the yard, the Bloods pop it off on the Crips, right? And then basically there's a big fight, whatever. So now some of the Crips go back to the house. They come back to the house. And now BG is the only Blood in the house, right? And he's in court. He doesn't know what's going on in the yard. He didn't know that there was a big blood, a big gang fight in the yard. So now some of the Crips are still in the house. And these are people that we live with. These are people we ate with. These are the people we shared phones with. We all, for like a good like couple months, we were living with each other. And we would all like sit at the same table, break bread together, whatever. I wasn't blood, but my bro was. So he came back in the house. And as soon as he came in the house, I told him, I was like, yo, this is what happened. Boom, boom. So I'm like, yo, what's up? What you doing? He was like, yeah, I can't stay here. So he goes in the house. He goes in his room, his cell. He ties up his sneakers. He packs his shit up. And then I'm like, all right, we out of here then. So I go pack my shit up. And then we go in the day room. And then we just set it off. Like, you know what I'm saying? He popped on a Crip dude. And I followed up because if there was other Bloods there, then maybe I would have just let him do his thing, or maybe I wouldn't have. You know what I mean? Because at the end of the day, it's my bro. You know what I'm saying? But if there was other people to fight with him, then I would have just let them do their thing. It was a Blood and Crip thing. I ain't Blood, I ain't Crip. You know what I'm saying? But because he was by himself, I couldn't let him fight 5, 6 other Crips by himself. You know what I'm saying? So we fought, and we got up out of there, and that was basically the story. Like, you know, on C95, anybody that was there with us. You know, I'm sure there's a lot of people that's watching this that can attest to it. There's a lot of people there at that time, and we got up out of that building. Word.